Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Morning.
I just my daughter just called me from Israel.
Yeah.
You heard the news, huh?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Reb Chaim was nifter.
What happened?
Well, Reb Chaim was nifter.
Who?
Reb
Chaim
Chaim
Kanievsky.
was nifter.
But he was how old was he?
94.
Oh, he's young.
Well, he was a god lador. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. Yeah.
I just see I got it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they having the Levaya today? Can they squeeze it in?
No, it's too late.
Yeah.
So they do it Sunday. I guess maybe Saturday night. Probably do it Saturday night.
Saturday night. Huh?
Yeah, the Berryman night there. Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's the end of an era in our time. We were zocheh to have him live in our time, and that's really something too. You know, a great man like that in our time. You know, they usually people talk in the past, but we were very fortunate to have him live in our time.
Good morning.
Yeah, you heard the news, right? You heard the news, huh? Reb Chaim Kanievsky was nifter this morning. Today. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a big funeral.
I know, Motzi Shabbos, probably, the world.
I'm surprised they're not going to bury him today.
No, there's no time. It was 10 minutes before.
Shabbos. He died Shabbos.
Yeah, just Erev Shabbos.
Oh, Erev Shabbos.
Yeah. There wasn't enough time, you know.
Okay.
He died in his house.
How old was he?
94.
Okay. I remember when the Stipler passed away, and then we had to spade him for his father.
Right, I remember, yeah.
Rav Moshe also passed away like right around Purim, I remember.
Honest Esther.
At the hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow.
Okay, Yud Beis.
No, your Rav Moshe passed away on Zion Adar.
Oh, Zion?
Yeah.
Okay, Yud Beis. Amid Aleph. Amar Leitini Sua. Haisa Achas Ksherev Achas Psula. We're talking about two women falling to one brother, one kosher, one pasul. Yamaya Choylitz, if he decides to give Chlitza Choylitz Lapsula, he gives it to the one that he can't marry. Now, my Ksheira, my Psula. Ile Meksher Ksheira Alma, meaning a woman who could marry a Kohen. Psula, Psula Alma. And a woman like a Grusha or a Chlutza who can't marry a Kohen. Now, why should that make a difference? Kivan Diladidei Chazi, he's a Yisrael. He can marry her. Yisraelim can marry a Grusha. So, my nafka lemine. Why should it make a difference who he gives Chlitza to, who he gives Ibum to? Elalav Ksher Ksher Le, and Psula Psula Le. We're talking about a woman who's kosher for him to marry, and a pasul who's pasul just for him to marry. Mind you, Machzer Grushaso. We're talking about if one of his brothers had been Machzer his Grusha, and now this woman falls to him, and we were debating what's the din? Is he allowed to do Yibum or not? Uktani, imhayim yabim yabim l'ksheira, which is the tzara. We were asking the question, what is the din of a Machzer Grushaso with a tzara? Well, from this brisa, it's clear that you can be miyabim the tzara. So the Gemara says, no, it's not approved. When we say ksherim psula, we're talking about ksher la'alma, psula la'alma, which means not a case of Machzer Grushaso. We're talking about a case like who's a Grusha, who can't marry a kohen. Udi ka'amrit, and then you asked me, kivan de l'didei chazia, well, why should that make a difference? For this guy who's a Yisrael, it makes no difference. He can marry them. My nafka leminei mishum dra. You ruined her as well. She's already ruined to a kohen. So you might as well not ruin anybody else. Toshma, Hamazar Grushaso Mishanisis, right? A man who was master her Grusha after there was actually Nisuim. He Vitzaroso Choletzes. Now, he Vitzaroso Sakadaitis, you don't do an action to two women, you do an action to one and it patters the other. Elaema, oh, he, oh, Tzaroso. Either one. You can't give, you can't have a choice of the woman who's the Machzer Grusha to be Yavim her. He choletzes. The index woman, the one who was the Machzer Grusha, the brother has to be choletzer because it's only a lav. So therefore it doesn't create a ptur. Sarasa, the co-wife, there's nothing wrong with her. If he would choose to deal with her, o choletzes o misyabemes. He can do either to her. Amrav Lili bar Mamel Amrav Maukva. Amar Shmuel. One second. Soras mimaenes asura. Now, let's say Reuven and Shimon. Reuven is married to a girl less than 12 years old. Rashi, Osi Lemishri, excuse me. Naful upon of Shtei Yevamos Ma'ach Echad. Ruvain has two wives. G'doilo Ktana. One is an adult above the age of 12. The other is a Ktana. U Miana Bo Haktana. And when the Ktana fell to Shimon, the girl did miyun. So I don't want to marry him. Sarasa Asura. The co-wife now is also Asura. Now the question is Laman. Ilem La'achim. Asura to the other brothers. Hashta hi gufa sharya. Now, this girl who did miyun to Shimon, let's say there's Levi and Yehuda. Well, Levi and Yehuda could do yibum to her. If a Ketana did miyun to one of the brothers, the other brothers could marry her. So if her herself could have yibum, tzarasum a boy, there's no shot about the tzara. We're talking about Shimon. The Ketana did miyun to Shimon. So the Shimon now cannot do yibum to the tzara either.
Does he have to, when a girl is miyun, does the husband have to give her a get or not? She just walks out.
Here, the normal case of miyun, when a father is mekadesh his minor daughter to a person, it's a kiddushin midoraisa. You need a get. There's no miyun.
Okay.
If the father's not alive,
yeah,
and the mother and the brothers married her off, so they don't have a koach like the father. In that situation, the girl anytime before she's 12 can do miyun, and it's like a nullification of the kiddushin. It's as if they were never married.
He doesn't have to give her a get then.
You don't need a get. You don't need anything.
So when the brothers take her, they don't have to do yivim.
Time out. I just carefully read the Rashi. We're not talking about a normal case where Reuven marries a Ketana and the Ketana does miyun to Reuven. No. Reuven is married to an adult and a Ketana, and Reuven dies. No miyun has been performed. Now the Ketana falls to Shimon, and the Ketana does miyun to Shimon, who is the Yovein. She says, I don't want this. That's the miyun we're talking about here. So we just explained that if a girl did that, she's muteris to the other brothers. Omar Shmuel, miyana bezeh muteris bezeh. Sarasum a boy. So if the other brothers can marry her, they certainly could marry the tzara. Ella ledideh. We're talking about Shimon, who the girl did miyun to. So umayshna mima'enes t'shari la'achin. So the girl who did miyun to Shimon is permitted to the other brothers. Delo avdebu ma'isa. There was no act of miyun done to them. Saranami lo avdebu ma'isa. So then why should there be a prohibition with the tzar? They didn't do a ma'isa either. And for the Gemara, gzeira mishum tzaros bito mima'enes. If Reuven had been married to Shimon's daughter, right? Reuven married his niece. And that girl did miyun. Well, the tzara would be prohibited because the tzara is married with an erva. So the Chachamim made a very far-reaching gzeira here and said that Any woman who does miyun, there's a isser for the tzara because of the possibility that if the bito does miyun, there for sure the tzara is usser. So we make a lo plug. Everybody with me so far? Yes. We're building slowly. Freit the Gemara. Tzaras bito memaenes miasira. You know what? If Reuven had married Shimon's daughter, Reuven had married his niece and then died, and there was a co-wife, and the bito did miyun to Shimon, the tzara would not be also but not the kulon. Imesu omianu, tzorosean mutaros. If the index woman had died or had done miyun, it says beferish in a Mishnah that the tzaras are permitted, right? Miyun abaman, ilema de miyun ababal. Are we talking about the katana had done miyun to her original husband? Well, hainu grusha. That Mishnah says imesu o miyanu on his garshu. There's no isra on the tzara. So why should there be a difference between miyun and gerushin?
Would the man, the girl, be usher to coin if we say it's not a let's say if the brother and the mother married her and she makes miyun, and we say if she goes out, would she be usher to a coin?
It's not a chlutza or a grusha.
So she'd be mutter to a coin then.
L'chora.
Yeah.
We don't have that halacha yet, but
Okay.
when we learn miyun, we'll see.
Okay.
But right now, based on that Mishnah, miyun is no worse than grusha, which would free the tzara. So you can do miyun two people. There could have been miyun with Ruvain, or there's miyun when she falls to Shimon. So it can't be miyun to the Baal. Must be la b'yavim. It must be she did miyun to the Yavim, to Shimon. So there's no isser for tzaras bito either. So what's the gzeira mishum tzaras bito? So the Gemara answers loylam babal. This ketana had done miyun to Ruvain. Utrei gavni gerushin. There's being a grusha from a Torah, and then there's this miyun that is like gerushin midrabana. So it could be later on we're going to learn that maybe this girl who did miyun, it could be that she's treated at least rabbinically like a grusha. Umayshna ki miyana babal. Why should be a difference? When she did miyun to her husband, the first husband, Ruvain, dakrinul nesuin, the whole nesuin is uprooted, is nullified. Ki miyana biyavim nami nesuin kamoy ka'akra. When she does miyun to Shimon, it's as if she's going back and nullifying her marriage to Ruvain the same way. And perhaps it's as if she was never married. And then she wasn't a co-wife there would be no problem with the co-wife. And for the Gemara, Mishum, the Tani Rami Bar Yecheskel, the Tani Rami Bar Yecheskel, Mina Babal, if the Ketana does miyun to the Baal, muteres la'aviv, the miyun gets rid completely of the marriage, as if there was never any marriage. And she could even marry the guy's father, because it's as if they were never married. B'yavim asur la'aviv. But if there's Reuven and Shimon, Reuven dies, and Reuven was married to Ketana, and the Ketana does miyun to Shimon, that creates there is some kind of zika. It's not, it doesn't uproot in the suin lagamre. And therefore, there would be an issur for the father to marry her. Alma mishas nefila nirke kaloso. Why is that? Because when she falls to Shimon, it looks like it's her daughter-in-law. It looks like it's the man's daughter-in-law because of a zika. Same thing. That's why the Chachamim made gzer mishum tzaras bito b'ma'enes, because the act of falling makes it look as if there's a relationship. Okay. That's the sugya of miyun. Aravasi tzaras islandess asura. An islandess is a woman who reaches the age of 18 and there's no signs of female sexual characteristics. And therefore, she has no ability to be molid. So, if Reuven was married to an islandess and to another woman, the other woman is also osir. Why? What's the purpose of ibum? That lahakim shem achiv, right? The brother doing ibum carries on the legacy of his brother. So, asher teled prat la'islandess she'ena yoledes. There's no din ibum by an islandess because she can't give birth. And therefore, the Isser of Eishes Ach doesn't have a heter. And therefore, like an erva. And therefore, the tzara is potter as well. Masav Rav Sheishes, Shloisha Achin Nesuin Shalosh Nashim Nachrias. Reuven, Shimon, Levi marry three strange sisters. They're not related. Umeis Echad Mehem. Reuven dies. And Reuven's wife falls to Shimon. V'asa b'sheni maimer. Maimer is like giving her kiddushin. Chazal didn't want people to just live with these women through Yibum. They wanted a stepwise process, just like we don't just do Nesuin. We have kiddushin and Nesuin. So they introduced maimer, which is like a kiddushin. So Shimon, now what does that accomplish? If there's 5 brothers and one of the brothers did maimer, that sort of reserves the woman for him. He has now the ability to do yibum over the other brothers. So he did maimer, and then Shimon died. So this woman now is the widow of Reuven and the widow of Shimon. And now she falls to Levi. Harei elu choltzos v'lo misyachmos. This woman, Levi can't do yibum, can only do chlitza. Shene'amar, umeis echad mehem. One of the brothers died. Yivama yavo aleha. The remaining brother should have relation. Misha ala zikas yavim echad. As long as there was only one connection between one brother, v'lo zikas shnei yivam. This woman has a connection to 2 brothers, Reuven and Shimon. Ktani Allah, Amrav Yosef. Zui soras eshes ach me'av. This is a case where me'ikar adin, there should be yibum, but isser nefila garam law. Because of the way it happened, where she fell, being the widow of 2 men, that ruins it. Shalom atzina b'chol haTorah kula kegonzos. There's no other case like this that she should be osir midrabanan, because there's no isser erva, and yet the tzara is osir. So, in all other cases, the tzara is only osir when the initial prohibition with the woman is midaraisa. Here, the prohibition is midrabanan, yet it asers the tzara. That's the example where there's no other case in the Torah like that. Now, when it says Zuhi, L'mu'ute mai, Lav L'mu'ute Tzoros Ailanis Desharya, it's only the index woman who's Aser, but maybe the Tzor is not. Lo, L'mu'ute Tzoros Ailanis Dasira. No. It comes to teach me that the co-wife of the Ailanis is also Aser. Umay Zohi, Zui the Isser Nefila Garamla.
Does a woman have to get? Does a man have to give a woman an eyeless again, or can we say it was a mistake?
Oh, hang on. Hold on to that question. That's a good question. So Rasa boy chlitza, the co-wife of the islandess would require chlitza. Islandess afilu chlitza leboy, but the islandess is not in the parsha of being tailaid. So she doesn't need chlitza at all. My time, ha doraisa. The islandess is doraisa, but the tzara is drabana. And since it's drabana midoraisa, maybe it needs yibum. You can't have yibum, so they make chlitza. Tanan. So the kulon, in all cases, imesu omianu onizgarshu, osunimsu islandess. Reuven marries a woman, and he has other wives. And then the woman either dies, or does miyun, or he divorces her, or she's found to be an islandess. Sarosei and mutaros. So how could you tell me that the Rabbanon Aser? There's a Beferish Tikaparaisa that said that Sarah with an islandess is permitted. So this comes up to what Elazar was saying. Lo hikasha. Kan shehikir ba, kan shelo hikir ba. If the Baal, when he married the islandess, knew that she was an islandess and married her anyways, so that's regular nesuin. There's no mekach tos. Since there's no mitzvah yibum that attaches, because she can't be molid, so that's the case where the tzara is permitted. Kan shelo hikir ba. But the other case is when he married her, he didn't know that she was an islandess. It only happened afterward that he discovered. There we could say that maybe a man didn't want to marry her, and the kiddushin was a kiddushin tos, and therefore there was never a marriage to the islandess to have damaged the tzara. There the tzara would be permitted. It says she was found to be an islandess. It doesn't say she was an islandess. Shmamina and Amar Rava Hilchasa. So we summarize. Tzaras islandess muteris. The co-wife of an islandess is permitted. Afilu hikirba. Even if the kiddushin was a kiddushin gemurim. Vafilu tzaras bito islandess. Even if Reuven had married Shimon's daughter and she was an islandess who knew, there's no problem with the tzara. Which means it's not hikir but shalo hikir ba. Tani shahayu. You change the word. You don't say nimtzu. You say hayu. Kiyas Rav Rav Yechon achat tzara ma'enes achat tzaras islands v'achat tzaras machzor b'shosu kula mutaros. The din is that the tzaras are permitted, and that's the halacha. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I've got to go to work. Tomorrow we can learn in shul, like we talked about. Well, Harold, what time did they say the Daf Yomi is?
Good question. I don't know. Let's see if the Kolenu came out.
Ernie, just let me tell you, the problem is, it's good we can learn in shul. The problem is that there's going to be no Zoom on the shiur. So,
what do you mean?
Well, you can't. Anybody wants to catch up who didn't come, right? I don't know if Elazar is going to walk or.
I will do the Zoom at night.
It says 5:30. Minchas at 6:20.
Yeah, so let's learn. Mario said he will come.
5:30 in shul.
Yeah,
okay.
5:30 in shul, and then if Elazar can't come, I will do the Zoom with him that night after the Navi.
Very nice of you. Okay.
The Navi shiur we're doing Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
Right.
So, Elazar, if you...
I can learn myself. I can catch up myself. I learn myself anyhow.
No. I need a tape made of it anyways.
Oh, okay. So what time you want to do it?
You tell me what...
I have to run Shabbos.
Okay, good Shabbos.
So, whatever time you want, whatever time you say. It was good for you, right?
We can do it like 9 o'clock.
Okay, fine.
Okay. And whoever can't come can join at 9 o'clock. But otherwise, we'll all do it in the shul at 5:30.
5:30. Okay, I'll try to
work.
Okay, bye.
Shabbos, Walter. Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Shabbos.